Hi, I'm Tom Scarpello of Revology Cars, and this is car number 120, a 1965 Mustang GT 2+2 Fastback in custom ivy green metallic with black Nappa leather interior. Today I'm going to take you on a walk around of this car and we're going to go for a drive. Let's get started. So people often ask me which one of the Revology Mustangs is my favorite. And I don't really have a favorite. Kind of like children, you don't really pick a favorite. But I have to say that the 65 Fastback is special to me because my first car was a 65 Fastback. And I learned so much about cars from that car, from owning that car. I rebuilt the engine, rebuilt the transmission, the brakes, the suspension, even put floorboards in it. It was a Fred Flintstone car. You could see the road going by underneath you. Anyway, back to 2022, here we are with car number 120. This is a 65 GT. You can distinguish the 65 from the 66 by the honeycomb grille. Paint is a custom ivy green. So we started with ivy green, which I think is one of the prettiest greens ever made. This one's a bit darker. The client wanted a little bit darker, more menacing green, accented with stripe. It's a matte black. It's called Dead Matte. It's a 3M vinyl material. It's very black, and it just gives a nice contrast with the dark green. So this car is equipped with 17-inch wheels. It has our optional Shelby brake package that features 6-piston front calipers and 4-piston rear calipers. They're fixed calipers. The rotors are 12.88-inch slotted and ventilated, so a really good braking system. So at the back of the car, the 65 and 66 GTs had exhaust tips that exited through the valance, which it is a true exhaust exiting through the valance, as opposed to modern cars, which if you look carefully at modern cars that have tips that go through the valance, what you actually have is sort of a fake tip integrated into the valance, and then the exhaust kind of dumps out somewhere in the middle, and that's just a lot easier to build. Much more difficult to build the tip that actually exits through the valance. Very difficult. Exhaust is expanding and contracting as it heats and cools, and they move all over the place. And if you look at original cars, you'll find that they generally not very well aligned in the opening. But these are perfectly aligned. It takes a lot of work to get it right. The interior, so it is the deluxe, also known as pony interior, with the embossed pony inserts in the seats. And this is Porsche Nappa leather. The entire interior is Nappa leather with the exception of the headliner and sun visors, which are the optional Alcantara. This car is going to an overseas market. It is metric. It has the KPH. This car is equipped with a Japan spec head unit with a reverse camera. Okay, so here we go, car number 120. So car 120 is going to Japan. This is our second car exported to Japan. The first one was car 20. So this is 120. So apparently every 100 cars we send one car to Japan. Japan is such a fascinating country. I lived there briefly when I worked for Nissan, and understanding a bit about Japanese culture, I was able to really appreciate why Japanese manufacturing is so good. Culturally, Japanese have an obsession with process. Everything has a process, and it has to be done the right way, the same way, every single time. So that lends itself extremely well to manufacturing, where everything has to be predictable, everything has to be consistent, and you see the result. Japanese consumer is very discerning. For any foreign company to be successful in Japan, they have to build a very high quality product consistently and offer it at a good value. Ford had operated in Japan for a long time, many years, and a few years ago decided to pull out of Japan. They weren't able to really gain traction in the Japanese market. When I worked at Ford in the early 90s, at the time, for cars that were being exported to Japan, there was a special Japan export quality inspection procedure. When you're doing different levels of quality for different markets, that kind of indicates that something isn't quite right. For us, it's really an honor to be able to export cars to Japan, knowing how demanding the Japanese consumer is. It's really special. It's indicative of the level of quality that we deliver, and if we can be successful in the Japanese market, we can be successful anywhere.